see. Tell the examiner as you start your pre-trip, you approach the vehicle, you check the clearance lights, the turn lights, and headlights. You make sure that the lens is secure, not cracked or broken or damaged. You're making sure that it's not leaning to one side or the other, indicating flat tire suspension problem. And any puddles on the engine, which indicate leaks, there's nothing there, everything is normal. You like to start the door. Start by check the steering gear box, connecting arms and rods and cotter keys. Everything is secure. There's no missing nuts and bolts, and the box and hoses show no signs of any cracks, damage, or leaks. To check the power steering fluid, I pulled that dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert, should be between add and full. Same with the oil. I would pull that dipstick, wipe it clean, reinsert, should be between add and full. I'll check the air compressor and air lines. Properly secure, there's no missing nuts and bolts, and no signs of any cracks, any damage, or leaks. I'd like to continue on the other side. On this side, I would check the coolant with the sight glass. If I had to add, I'd wait till the engine was cool. I'll check the water pump, properly secure, no missing nuts and bolts, no signs of any cracks, damage, or leaks. Alternator, secured to the bracket, no missing nuts and bolts. Wire secured to the alternator, not frayed, burned, or loose. My gear-driven power steering pump behind my alternator is properly secure, no missing nuts and bolts, no signs of any cracks, any damage. I'll check all my belts. I have an air compressor, alternator, and water pump belt. They're more than 3/4 inch of frame, not cracked or frayed. And I would check all hoses on my engine. They should be clamped securely at both ends with no signs of any cracks, any damage, or any leaks. I'll check the front, back hangers, and U-bolts. Secured to the frame, no missing nuts and bolts, not cracked or damaged. Springs are not shifted, missing, cracked, or broken. Shock is secure, top and bottom, with no signs of any cracks, damage, or leaks. Braco secured at both ends, no signs of any cracks, damage, or leaks. Brake chamber secured, no missing nuts and bolts, no signs of cracks, damage, or leaks. Slack adjuster secured around a 90-degree angle, and I cannot move it more than 1 inch with my hand when the brake is released and the wheel chopped. Brake drum secured, not cracked or damaged, and the linings, where they're visible, I make sure they're properly fit. I'll check the inside and outside of the tire, the walls, for any bulges or cuts. Tread depth is 4/32 seconds, no recaps, and I would check the air pressure with the gauge. Rim is not cracked or damaged, no illegal welding. Lug nuts show no signs of being loose, such as rust or shiny threads. And the hub oil seal is properly secured, no missing nuts and bolts, no signs of any cracks, damage, or leaks. Mud flap is secured, not missing. I will check the entire body. I'm looking for any missing or broken clearance lights, reflectors, or turn signal lights. Make sure there's no broken glass and no body damage. I will check the fuel compartment. The door opens freely. The gap is secured and no signs of leaks in my tank or lines. Underneath the bus, I will check the exhaust. It's properly clamped. No signs of leaks such as carbon soot. Drive shaft secured, no missing nuts and bolts, nothing in the U-joints. And the frame and cross members in shape of a ladder secured, no missing nuts and bolts, no sign of any cracks, damage. While I'm down here, I will check the brake chamber, my slack adjuster behind the brake chamber, my brake hose, as well as my drums and linings, same as the front. I will check the front and back hangers, the springs, the U-bolts behind the tire, and the shock in the rear, same as the front. The only difference in the rear, I do have a torque arm. Should be secured at both ends, not cracked or damaged. And I do have an air belt. It's probably secure, no missing nuts and bolts, not cracked, damage, and no leaks. I will check the tire and wheel, same as the front. The only difference is I have dual tires, so I make sure there's nothing between. Tread depth is 2/30 seconds, and I am allowed recaps. I'll check the air pressure with an air gauge. I'll check the rim and lug nuts the same as the front. The only difference in the wheel in the back, I have an axle seal, properly secure, no missing nuts and bolts, no cracks, damage, or leaks. And I have a spacer. It should be properly secure, not cracked or damaged. Mud flap is secure, not missing. On the rear of the bus, I will check the clearance lights, tail lights, turn lights, turn signal lights, and lenses to make sure they're not cracked or damaged. They are properly secured and proper color. The exit door is properly hinged. There's no broken glass. It does open freely from the back. And when I shut it, it makes a tight seal. I would check everything on this side exactly like the other. The only item you check over here for DC students only is the battery compartment. Let them know in DC that you would check the key from the inside, open up the door, make sure the battery compartment is secured, cables are secured to the battery, and no excessive corrosion. Now you would like to continue, you will close the hood, let the examiner know as you walk back around, you make sure the mirror brackets are secured to the bus, mirrors are secured to the bracket, and they are not cracked or damaged. Now I'd like to continue on the inside. I have a passenger door, should be properly hinged, no broken glass, it does operate freely. Handrail secured top and bottom. Step light secured, not cracked or damaged, and the full molding secured and evenly glued. Then I will check all my emergency equipment. I have a fully charged ABC fire extinguisher. I have 3 flares and 3 triangles underneath the driver's seat. I have a fully stocked first aid and body fluid kit, and I do have extra fuses if I need them. I will come in, I will make sure that the seat is secured to the floor, and I want to make sure my seat as well as my mirrors are adjusted for me. Now I like to see if the seatbelt works, and once I put the seatbelt on, I like to pull the key out of my pocket. I push to make sure the engine stop rod is pushed in, and I like to start the bus. I like to look, listen, and feel on my heaters, as well as my defrosters. Wiper arm secured to the bus, blade is secured to the arm making contact. Make sure that they work, and while they're on, I should have washing fluid, and I do. Now that my windshield is cleaner, I'm looking for any cracks or chips or any illegal stickers that would obstruct my view. My water temperature is about 170, normal range. Oil pressure is rising. I have plenty of fuel. The voltage is in the green. And I have over 100 pounds of air pressure. I will check my turn signals on my dash. Right, left, hazards. I will turn my headlights on. And on the floor, I will check my high beam indicator, and it does work. I have no more than 2 inches of play in my steering wheel, and the horn works. I like to check my transmission. I like to start in reverse, and I should hear a backup horn, and I do. I like to do all my gears individually, just to make sure it shifts properly, let the examiner know it is. While I'm in low gear, I want to make sure my parking brake is holding. Now, I like to put it in neutral. I cut the bus off by pulling the engine stop rod out, so my key will be left on the on position. At this time, you would tell the examiner that you will go ahead and do your air brake test. You release the brake, put your foot firmly on the brake, and you will hold it for 1 minute. Either time yourself with the watch or ask the examiner at this time if they would time you. And you let the examiner know, would you begin now? Now for training purposes, when the minute is over, either let the examiner know the minute's up, or the examiner lets you know that the minute's up. Let them know that you have not lost more than 3 pounds in 1 minute. You do not have any leaks. You will fan down to approximately 60 to check the lights and buzzers. There they are. Now you go down to approximately 40 and wait for your brake to pop out. Now, you will push the engine stop right in. Start the bus. Tell them you'll build it up to 120 to hear the release valve. As you're doing that, tell the examiner you'd like to check the rest of the vehicle. Again, you will check the floor molding to make sure it is properly secured and evenly groomed. All seat frames should be secured to the floor, and the top and back cushion should be secured to the frame. You want to make sure you check the exit door, should open freely, and the buzzer should work. And you want to make sure that the hatch, by pushing on the red button, turning it, it should release. up. Rev the engine up a little bit to speed up the process. And again, you'll hear the shut-off valve at 120. This time you can ask the examiner if he would step outside the vehicle and check your lights to make sure that they all function. This concludes the Class B pre-trip for Maryland, D.C.